is a great day in our church, a day that many of you have been waiting for. You've wanted to hear about the building update. Well, today we have some great news. Michael Martin is going to come and give us a building update, and he's going to introduce a guest to us today. But today, as we begin this, I'm very excited, very excited about what Michael has to say, but I'm more excited about what the Lord has to do with us. And so this morning, welcome Michael, and then also welcome his guest in just a few minutes. But welcome Michael to the platform today. Mike?
Thank you very much. I want to make just a few announcements about some of the coming events. On tonight, I want to really encourage you to be here at 5 o'clock. We're going to be having a town hall style meeting, and we'll be talking about the building. We're going to talk about it now, but we will be able to be more specific about different things in the building process. And if you have questions, that'll be a time you can ask questions. So that'll be tonight at 5 o'clock. Please try to be here for that. We want to inform everybody where we're at and let you know exactly what's going on. On October the 23rd, there's going to be a special called business meeting, and this will be to, as a church body, we will be called to select Paradigm Paradigm Construction, who are calling to build the building project, and so you want to be here and be part of that, so you can vote on that. On October the 30th, Bernie David will be, he is our treasurer, and he will be talking to us about the family commitments that we need to make in order to have a successful financial program on paying for this building once we get it built. And then finally, on November the 13th, you can mark your calendars, this important day. We're going to call this Harvest Sunday, and it'll be the day that we will be collecting money. Our goal is on that day to collect $20,000 for the payment of the building. Now, it is also the day that we'll come together and have the Thanksgiving meal in our fellowship hall. So you'll want to be here on that day for multiple reasons, but Harvest Sunday will become a tradition here at the church. I'm really excited about it, looking forward to it, to see what God will do, and we even have some other news about this day to share with you that is really exciting. So November the 13th, mark your calendar to be here for that. I want to begin by talking about the history we have came from, and it began probably back at around the time that this church's facility that we're sitting in right now was built, sometime during the 1970s. There was a vision of building a family life center at this time. Of course, over time, it took various what design would look like and different plans and ideals as it moved forward, but still it was a vision that was carried forward with this. And I'm so thankful in the 1980s, 1990s, some of the members of that church, the church at that time, are still here today. And I want to officially thank, I don't know if they have been, but I want to do that, thank those members who are here well before us, who were part of this vision, because they had the foresight and the faithfulness to build a large parking lot and to build a large retention pond and an underground drainage system, which I know was a great amount of faith on their part. But today, I'm here to tell you we can move forward, not only because of our faithfulness today, but because of their faithfulness in the past. Also, in around 2016, we began a project called Together We Build, and our idea was we were going to raise money for the down payment and then begin the building project. And some of you, although not all of you here, remember that. And some of those who began this journey with us in 2016 are not with us today. They have already gone home to be with the Lord. And I just want to thank God for them and their faithfulness, that they had that foresight to want to begin something at this church that they might not ever see, but they know would be useful in God's kingdom. And so we owe them a debt. And those who are here at this church who have been helping on this and helping to raise a down payment that will make this project possible. There have been those who began and are still continuing to give to the Family Life Center that we're building. And we, after 2016, 2019, we began to face other obstacles. We were hit with COVID and other problems that went on during that time. Now, during this process, we were able to continue with it and move forward, though at times it seemed like a snail's pace. We were able to move forward, and we were able to acquire the civil permits. This is in order to do the dirt work and to build the elevation or do the groundwork to prepare it. And so we do have the permits for that, and we have to have that in order that we might be able to move forward. But during this process, we found that it was necessary that we reach out and search for a different builder who would complete the project. And so we began our search in the Master Plan and Building Committee looking for the proper construction company, and we set up a criteria. We wanted to find 5, and our criteria was we wanted to find companies that had other construction projects that were going on. So we were able to look at their work and talk to people who recently and currently have projects going on with them. We wanted to find a company that had a history of quality that we knew, because we wanted to build something that would not be here just for our generation, but for generations to come. So it needed to be a good building, and then a company that had depth within their within the company itself. So if one person within the company was not able to complete the task for whatever reason, there would be somebody else who could come in and step up, and the building project would be continue and not dependent upon one certain person. So we reached out to 5 separate builders, and we had an opportunity to speak with each one of them. And I'll say, from the Master Plan and Building Committee, it was a wonderful opportunity. We were able to learn things and find out new information that we would need in the building. And I will say today that although we may not can build a perfect building, we can build a more perfect building because of information we discovered from these different builders that we talked to. And the Master Plan and Building Committee had decided and led us to a company called Paradigm Construction. And Paradigm Construction offers a long history of specializing in churches and multi-purpose buildings or family life centers where they have had a long history of building. They also specialize, which was helpful to us, in working with churches. And also they bring with them an architectural firm, which is Mark Todd Architecture. And Mark Todd is the official or an architect who is with and does the work for the BGCT, which is the Baptist General Convention of Texas. And so they bring a lot of expertise to the table, uniqueness in working with churches. And so the Master Plan and Building Committee selected them in order to continue this project. And this morning, I am pleased to introduce you to Bob Fritz. He is with Paradigm Builders, and he's here to introduce himself to you this morning and tell us a little bit about Paradigm and the building project. Bob?
Michael, thank you very much for the kind words, and thank you for having me here this morning. I am Bob Fritz. I'm a project executive with Paradigm Construction. Our company is based in Tomball. Our work is primarily in this area, but we're working presently in Round Rock and Sand Springs, so we go wherever churches need to be built. Our principals, actually I'll say that our company next year will be celebrating our 10th anniversary of business, but our principals within the firm have a combined experience of over a century of building churches. And we're doing actually a number of Baptist church projects right now. We're doing more Baptist churches than any other denomination. We've got the sanctuary at Parkwood Baptist in the north side of Kingwood under construction. We're working for First Baptist Church of Tomball. They sold their property in downtown Tomball and building a new campus. We'll be doing that for them. And then First Baptist Church of Friendswood is doing some campus additions there. And I've had the honor of working at First Baptist Friendswood for 34 years in business relationships with them. And we've got a lot of other churches, a lot of other denominations also building right now. So it's a good time to build. As church builders, and church building's a different animal altogether, we understand the importance of every sacrificial dollar that you have given to this project. It's a responsibility we hold very seriously. We are a Christian company. Our company's core values include serving others first, doing the right thing, and building to a higher standard. We're pleased to be partnering on this project, as Michael said, with Mark W. Todd Architects. Mark's firm is out of the Woodlands, and we've been working with Mark and his team on many successful religious projects for many years. Their firm, as Michael said, is an approved vendor of the Baptist General Convention of Texas, and Mark Todd himself has served as a deacon at First Baptist in Montgomery, where he and his family have grown up over the years. We're just delighted to be partnering with Mark and his team. So let's talk about your new Family Life Center. The new Family Life Center, as you probably know, is going to be built right over here behind the sanctuary. It's a 16,470 square foot building. It'll include 7 dedicated classrooms, plus 2 additional flex space classrooms that can also serve as gathering spaces. It's going to have a very nice kitchen in it, lots of restrooms, including a family restroom. And the gym is going to be set up to accommodate both basketball and volleyball. And when it's converted to a hall, it can seat 475 people auditorium style, and it can seat 254 people at tables for dinner. The current construction budget for this project, including design fees, is approximately $3.9 million, which comes to about $240 per square foot, which in this market we think is a very aggressive price, but a very doable price, and still one that will build this church a very quality building. That's something we will never compromise. It will be a quality product. We'll stand behind it and are glad to do so. Our plan is to start construction in January, and in August of next year, we'll dedicate it. And we're excited about that schedule. This is a very nice project for Paradigm Construction. We are honored to be your construction partner. We thank you for the opportunity to build, and thank you very much for having me here this morning.
And we look forward to working with Paradigm and Bob on this project moving forward. We've seen a lot of improvements, good ideas. I want to invite you to come back tonight at 5. We can talk about more specifics on the building as you look forward to it. We are still in the process of doing some tweaking on design, but the basic design is there, and so it will maybe improve a little bit, but it has been really good up to date. I do want to add that we have met with First Liberty Bank, who has agreed to provide us the loans necessary. They gave us several loan options, and through the Finance Committee, we reviewed those options and made a selection. So we'll have our interest rate tied in for a certain period of time, and then moving forward, we will work on that. But we do have a good relationship with First Liberty Bank, and they are going to be of great value moving forward. What is exciting is on August the 25th, 2023, which is not really that far away, that is our tentative schedule of completion. Now, that could change, but that is our tentative schedule. So if you think about it, if you're here on November the 13th, you'll be celebrating the Thanksgiving meal in our fellowship hall. But if everything goes according to plan, that will be the last one that we have in this fellowship hall. From now on, they will be over in the new Family Life Center, and that will be really, really exciting. Now, my job is here today is to tell you where we're at. I had one of our church members just literally minutes before I came into the early service this morning, and he came up to me and asked me, and he said, "Brother Mike, I'm worried about this. This is a big building, a big project. I know that it's a lot of money. I don't know, can we pay for this?" So I understood his concerns, and God had been dealing with me. And so I told him, I said, we'll be in service this morning, and I want to answer that question for you because I want to tell you and be very honest with you and tell you exactly where we're at and exactly what we're looking at. And what we are looking at is interest rates higher than what we first thought they would be. We're seeing inflation levels in our economy today that are higher than they have been in some time. We're seeing gas prices going up almost every day. We may even be seeing a recession around us in our economy. We're standing on the brink of building this building. And if I were standing next to a river, I would describe it, we're standing next to a time that this river is flooding right here in front of us. Well, the Bible gives us very good instructions on dealing with a flooded river. You see, it was during Joshua's time. God had a promise for Joshua and all of Israel, but it was on the other side of that river. The problem was that river was flooded, much like our economy is today. So I want to review what God told Joshua and all of Israel. He says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." So that's the first message we must hear from the Lord, is to be strong and be courageous. I know that it's scary. I know there's a lot of uncertainties around, but I'll promise you this, God is bigger than the payments that we're going to have on this building. He is mightier than anything else that we can even begin to build or even start to build. He's bigger than that. And we have always been able to trust Him, and He isn't going to leave us or desert us at this time. Joshua gave the people instructions. He said in chapter 3, verse 5, "Then Joshua said to the people, 'Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you.'" You see, we need to start praying about this, not only as a church, and I know that we have, but we need to start praying as families and individuals and pray and seek God's guidance on what He would have us to do, because every family is different. And we must ask God, what is going to be our part in this building? And how am I going to contribute to the completion of this building? He gave Israel these instructions. When you see the priests who were carrying the ark, and when their feet touched the water and they are standing feet deep in the water, then God's going to show you He's going to provide a way. Well, what that tells me here today, God's message for us, is we have to commit ourselves. I know our pastor is, but we can't depend just the pastor's commitment is going to complete this. It has to be all of us. Every family represented here, every person here, we have to be ready to get our feet wet, to commit ourselves to building this project, and not only beginning it, but to see the project through. It's exciting what God is doing here at this church. And you know, as we look and see this project that has been a vision for literally generations, and we stand on the brink of seeing it started and the brink of seeing it completed, this is exciting what God is doing right here, right now, and we have the privilege of being part of God's plan. I look forward to today. In this room this morning, I got two of my granddaughters sitting here. And I pray I see the day comes that even their children will be playing in this gym, and I'll be able to tell them that, no, it wasn't easy, but you ought to have seen what God did in seeing this building become a reality, to see them benefit from the sacrifice not only of myself, but all of those who have gone home to be with the Lord, and to be thankful for that. God has given us an awesome privilege to be here, to be part of what He is doing here today. So I pray that each one might begin to pray and commit yourself to see what part God would have you to serve. Pastor.